Hello and good day, this is Scott with Wet Edge. Welcome to another poolside video. Today we're real excited about showing you our Grigio Treasure. It's one of the newer colors in the Primera stone line. Before we had all these fancy finishes, grays, really anything with gray background pigment would just give you really nice blue water. But typically that was always like in a gray plaster and they would just be a nightmare to keep looking good. But you put it into a matrix like Primera stone, it affords you that ability to keep it looking nice. And as you know, the great thing about Primera stone, when it gets beat up, all you do is repolish and you make it look brand new. This is just a beautiful finish. I mean, this pool, this backyard, I mean, just look around. I mean, it's terrible somebody's got to wake up and look at this every day, but someone's got to do it, right? But this is just gorgeous. And the abalone just explodes off the surface. And look at, I love the noses on the steps with the Primera stone product. They're so smooth. I mean, you're never going to snag a bathing suit. It's just awesome. And you just look at the overall appearance, how, when you first walk up on it, it looks like a pebble finish. And that's what we were going for, with the Primera stone, as you may or may not know. And, but it doesn't have that feel, and just so many times the response we get with the Primera stone when people step on it for the first time is something like, ooh, or ah, that's just, it feels so nice. And then again, the great thing about this color is we can by and large, we put this, if you've ever watched our watercolor video, if not, I encourage you to do so. But as you may or may not know, we break down the watercolors into 4 basic groups. And we put the Grigio in our true blues. Under most circumstances, you can reasonably expect blue colored water, a nice, light to medium blue colored water, depending on the size and depth of your pool, obviously. Now, watercolor is not an exact science. This is our disclaimer. And you can every now and then get an oddball situation, particularly just have a good sense or an idea of your backyard. Are you going to have, is there a lot of foliage or trees, bushes, shrubs that are very near the pool? Because if they're close, certain times of day, you're going to get that reflection off the surface and it can influence what you're looking at. And what was once blue may now take on more of a teal color. But you shift 90 degrees in your perspective and you look at the pool from an angle where there is no green behind it and you get that blue watercolor that you want. So, just keep that in mind. But don't, what I'm saying is if you really want something with nice, just inviting, crisp, refreshing blue colored water, really strongly consider a finish like Grigio Treasure. Some of the hang up for people with a color like this is the gray. They just don't want to see the gray. And I understand that. But again, gray really does give you one of your better options of getting some nice medium blue colored water. It's just real crisp and inviting. So some of the key features of the Grigio Treasure is actually what it is we took our sky blue base. If you're looking online and you see the sky blue colors, what we did is we took that base and we mixed it with the gray pigment. And the blue glass really just, it's a nice contrast, but it just pops, and most people like blue. And then, like I said, when you put while the abalone kind of gets lost in a color like sky blue, it just stands out even more in a color like Grigio. Now, if you can notice in some of these shots, like particularly like some of the other water shots, and you may see like in the coves as the face of a step transitions then to the top of the next, like the swim step or the next, sometimes you may get a little more cream built up in those areas, because it's just if you can appreciate the process of polishing and trying to get the pad in those areas, you don't necessarily get the same exposure. So we try to keep that to a minimum, but that is a possibility. Like around fittings, like this particular pool has an in-floor cleaning system. Sometimes there might be a little more cream buildup around the edge of fittings or step trim or mosaics, because the polisher is trying not to scratch the tile, so they may keep the pad off a little bit, and so you may have a little cream buildup around there. So that's something to consider if you're thinking about going with step trim or a mosaic, that and after the polish. So you may notice on this pool there is no step trim, and we actually recommend, like with a product like Primera stone, that you would choose not to go with it. I know, particularly some of those glass mosaics you can put out there. It does look nice, but it's been my experience that they often become a point of contention because the polisher, in not wanting to scratch said glass tile, or any tile for that matter, they kind of keep the polisher off at about 1/8 of an inch or so, and so you can have like a little cream line all the way around. Okay, another thing you'll notice on this pool, bar stools. In some parts of the country that's very popular. But you need to also, again, appreciate the handcrafted element that comes in with plaster, and you're trying to go around a tube that may or may not be perfectly round. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you on video that when the plaster gets done with it, they're going to be perfectly round. So they're going to try to do their best, but they will not be, chances are they probably won't be symmetrical. When you get them underwater too, with the movement like you have right now, it's kind of hard to tell if something's perfectly round or not. But overall, I mean, this is a really good application. You don't see a lot of that going on in any of those areas. You see good exposure even in the coves. But overall, this is a beautiful project, obviously, a beautiful pool, and the watercolor is just, this is really, really nice. I'm almost tempted to accidentally fall in right in the middle of this recording. But there you have it. That is the Grigio treasure from the Primera stone line. Once again, just thank you for your time and consideration, and thanks for choosing Wet Edge, your pool finish resource.